We're glad you're all here. Thank you all very much for coming. We have a lot of great people here. I'm really proud to say there's a lot of folks from the class of 1992 here. Class of 1992 anywhere? Very good. Excellent. Very good. Woo! All right. But we are missing some important people. This is an awards reception, and we are missing our honorees and inductees. So I'd like to turn on some peppy music to allow us to bring them in one at a time. Oh, let me turn it on. Very good. Introducing from the class of 1996, Vaughn Alexander. From the class of 1999, Richard Riccardelli. From the class of 2014, Corey Williams. With all of the class, Dr. Elizabeth Compton. From the class of 1996, Eric Miller. Oh, keep coming down, Dr. Compton. You're all the way in the front, Dr. Compton. Very good. Coming down the other side, from the class of 2004, Hall of Famer Eddie Gesford. From the class of 1999, Beth Hicks. From the class of 99, Michelle Warner. And last but not least, with a perfectly fine femur, from the class of 2004, Courtney Wells. Welcome all, and now I'd like to congratulate all these folks while I have the chance to do it, but I'd like to introduce to you the woman of the hour, the Tower of Power. She'll make you scream, woo! Just like Jerry Clower, my favorite president and yours, Dr. Tiffany Franks.
I never know what he is going to do. I think I know, but I really don't know. So we love you, Dan. We thank you, Dan. And that the music certainly had a way of getting us all pepped up, right? Yes. Good morning, everyone. And to all of our alumni in this room, welcome home. Your alma mater has its arms around you today, and we are thrilled to have you back home with us. We also welcome those who are special to you, who are beside you today. You know, this event is a celebration. It's a celebration of the people of Averett. It's a celebration of Averett's mission in action by alumni who have given in absolutely extraordinary ways. And one such group is our Alumni Board. Please help me show appreciation for our Alumni Board and all the service that they give to Averett. If you are a member of our Alumni Board, please stand so we can applaud you. These graduates give so much, and we just appreciate each of you for your service. Now, we have two Averett alumni from the class of 1957 with us today. They're celebrating their 60th reunion. If I could ask Linda Kelly from California and Carolyn Hankley from Tennessee to please stand so that we can celebrate you. Welcome back home, Linda and Carolyn. Today we're also honored, as Dan said, to welcome home members of the class of 1992 as they celebrate their 25th reunion. Please stand so that we can recognize you. 25th reunion group. Now in your program, you'll see a listing of prior award recipients. You're a grand and impressive group, and I know a few of you were able to come back to be with us this morning. I want to congratulate you again, and I would ask if for any of our past award recipients, as well as members of our Hall of Fame, if you would please stand so that we can recognize you again. Now to this year's Distinguished Alumni Award winners. This time is a celebration of each of you. Vaughn Alexander and Colonel Richard Adelie, you have distinguished yourselves in your careers and in your communities. To our Fugate Davis Women's Leadership Award winner, Dr. Elizabeth Boo Compton, thank you for your extraordinary leadership, Boo, to your profession, community, and all the many educators who are now teaching in our community because of your mark and your work in their lives. To our Mary Jo Davis Outstanding Alumnus, Eric Miller, all of us thank you, Eric, for the many, many hours that you have spent working to make Averett a better place for alumni and current students. To Corey Williams, our recipient of the recent Alumnus Excellence Award, you have distinguished yourself in such a short time as a true servant leader, embodying the very mission of Averett. To our Averett Hall of Fame inductees, Eddie Gesford, Elizabeth Sladorn Hicks, Michelle Warner, and Courtney Carrington Wells, we recognize you today for the honor that you have brought to your alma mater. Each of you are so very, very special, and it's an honor for your alma mater to celebrate you today. To each of our award recipients who we honor today, and to our prior recipients, you have each achieved such remarkable things, and you have contributed greatly to the lives of students, classrooms, schools, and universities, to athletics, to churches, to finance and insurance industries, to security and agriculture, to counties, to cities and states through public service, to the United States military, and to your communities. In fact, each of you have lived the very, very lives that we set out to achieve in Averett's mission. You have profoundly served, and you have modeled and been an example to others, and you all have been catalysts for positive change in this world. We'll now begin our program with an invocation by Reverend Schuyler Daniel, Averett's chaplain. Thank you.
Please join me for a word of prayer. Lord, we come before you this morning, and we are overwhelmed with gratitude. We are thankful for places we call home and people united by a common brother and sisterhood. Lord, we invoke your blessing upon our recipients of today's awards. May your Spirit empower them to use their platform that you have given them to serve and transform our world for the better. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
It is my privilege to introduce to you all this morning the Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. I'd like to invite Corey Williams to the stage. The recent Distinguished Alumnus Award is presented to an Averett alumnus that has graduated within the last 10 years and has already made a distinguished impact. Corey graduated from Averett in 2014, and he left the Danville area soon after graduation, and he worked in Richmond for a year. Corey felt drawn back to Danville, and immediately after returning, he began looking for ways to be involved in the Danville region and to make the region better. Corey was the recipient of a Middle Border Forward Community 500 grant. The goal of his grant request was to take family portraits for people in the Danville area that would not normally be able to afford portraits. Corey spent his Saturdays in June of this past year going to different Danville redevelopment and housing authority communities, taking family portraits, and then Middle Border Forward printed, framed, and gave those portraits to the families at no cost. Corey had interned with the DRHA and wanted to find a way to give back to Danville and to the families living in those communities. For many people, a family portrait might not seem like a very important thing, but for a community riddled with broken homes and increasing gang populations, a family portrait is a very real, visual, and tangible reminder that one does belong to a family and a community. In addition, he has also started an online local food, recreation, arts, and culture magazine called Rivertown. Corey is truly a catalyst for positive change and truly deserves the 2017 Recent Distinguished Alumnus Award. He doesn't want to say anything. The Distinguished Alumnus Award is presented to alumni that have made a distinguished impact in their personal and professional worlds. We have two excellent examples today. First, I would like to ask Vaughn Alexander to please come forward. Vaughn started distinguishing himself when he was a student, joining the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity, being on the soccer, baseball, cross country, and cheerleading teams, serving as an RA and as SGA president. He graduated in 1995 and started Alexander Insurance in 1996. He's a past president of the Rotary Club of Mechanicsville, also past vice president, sergeant-at-arms, service chair, and Paul Harris Fellow with 12 years of perfect attendance. He is currently the vice president of the board of directors for the Richmond Volleyball Club and has coached a team every season for the last 21 years. In addition, he has coached his children in soccer and t-ball. He's a past executive director for the American Society of Environmental Professionals. His insurance company is a part of the Keystone Insurance Group, and he has served in several regional and state-level committees within that organization. In 2016, he was awarded the Outstanding Young Professional Insurance Agent of the Year Award by the Professional Insurance Agent Association of Virginia and the District of Columbia. Because of his service to the community and recognitions that he has received for his professional work, we name Vaughn Alexander as a distinguished alumnus of Averett University.
All right, thank you. What an honor. One of the first speeches I ever gave was actually on this stage 22 years ago. I was a Student Government Association president, and I had to speak to the new freshman class and their parents. I learned quickly to give short speeches that were to the point. Attending Averett was one of the best decisions I ever made. I graduated with the self-confidence, knowledge, and lifelong friends that have helped me in every aspect of my life. I want to give a special thanks to my wife, Doan, who helps and allows me to run a successful company and to serve on all the boards and associations that I'm actively involved in. I also want to give a little shout out to the Moran family who brought their kids, Jack and Brian, for the first time up here to Averett. Met them in college my first year, and they're here to see me get this award. God bless Averett. Thank you.
I would next like to ask Richard Riccadelli to come forward. He has been nominated for the Distinguished Alumnus Award because of his career in the U.S. government, both in defense and in national intelligence. Now, I'm not an expert in military terminology or explaining his impact, so I would like to apologize now for being a layman. But I do know that the fact that he has found a calling in beekeeping and has concerned himself with protecting bee colonies from marauding wasps and beetle infestations, just that makes him a really interesting guy. He's played a role in getting legislation before the Virginia House and Senate to protect these important pollinators. In his career, He served as Deputy Chief for the Defense Intelligence Agency, Deputy Chief for the Joint Task Force in Panama, Director of Plans, Programs, and Budget Director of Intelligence Futures, and Senior Intelligence Officer for the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg. He has been based in Louisiana, Massachusetts, Germany, Illinois, Korea, someplace called the headquarters of the U.S. Army, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Panama, and Washington, D.C. His recognitions while in military service are extensive and include the Distinguished Service Medal, the Bronze Star, numerous meritorious service medals, as well as several master parachutist badges, and the Norwegian Military Ski Badge. That's impressive. His education includes a bachelor's from Seton Hall, master's from Ohio University, and an MBA from Averett in 1999, and twice a U.S. Army War College graduate. As references for his credentials, it was recommended that we call General Stan McChrystal, General Gary Luck, and General David Petraeus. They all vouched for him. After a career of selfless service to country and cause, Mr. Adelie continues to embody and display the qualities of a servant leader committed to making a difference in all that he does. We recognize and celebrate his achievements, and as one of our own, an Averett graduate, I am pleased to name Mr. Richard Adelie as a distinguished alumnus of Averett University.
I was told 3 minutes, and I will stick to 3 minutes. Thank you, President Franks, the Alumni Association, fellow alumni, students, families, and friends of Averett, and to my wife of 45 years and my best friend, Jan. She's in the audience out there. I was not your typical Averett student. I was over 50 years old when I attended the executive MBA program in Northern Virginia. And unlike many students, I had already had a successful career, but was recently selected to be the Director of Plans, Programs, and Budget at a Pentagon office for over 100 men and women, military, civilian, and contractors. So why the Averett and the MBA program? Well, I was picked for a position because of my years of experience overseas, in combat, and with elite units, not because of my business acumen. To be frank, I didn't know what a budget was, let alone how to spell it. I needed to learn business fast. Looking around the Washington, D.C. area, I chose Averett for an MBA for 3 reasons. First, it was military and veteran-friendly university. Second, it was close to where I lived and worked, which was the Pentagon. And finally, it was a good value. In fact, it was a great value. And I think if anybody has picked up or looked online at the recent U.S. News and World Report about the best colleges in the country, Averett's on that list, for the reasons I just explained. So for the Averett faculty and classmates, reminded me that life is just a journey of continuous learning and education. And after a career in the military, my MBA from Averett prepared me well as a senior executive for a Fortune 500 company and an executive in national intelligence for the U.S. government. And one last item I'd like to say, I had retired twice, and in June I was called back to serve the U.S. government again at a national intelligence agency. So I am a co-lead for our national strategy dealing with artificial intelligence, automation, and augmentation, sometimes called deep learning, and applying that to our intelligence services across the government. So again, thank you very much for your graciousness, warm hospitality, and friendship. Thank you.
All too often, teachers are not recognized for the positive influence that they have had on their students' lives. But we all know and remember, as we look back on our school days, a favorite teacher who touched our lives, changed our direction, and made a profound difference. Dr. Elizabeth Compton is just such a teacher. Dr. Compton, come on down, as they say. Come join me. This woman of Averett is so deserving of the Fugate Davis Women's Leadership Award that recognizes the contributions of women who serve and raise up Averett. Dr. Compton joined Averett in 1968 as a professor in the college's education department. She was instrumental in launching Averett's elementary education program in 1969 and the Master of Education degree in 1982. In 1989, she was appointed as Dean of Arts and Sciences, and as Dean, Dr. Compton took the lead in establishing Averett's Interdisciplinary Studies program for first-year students, which continues to this day, more than 25 years later. And Joe and I, one of our favorite joys as president and first man of Averett is having our freshmen, our first-year students, to the house for dinner. Those students are in the very course and program that she started 25 years ago. In 1997, she was appointed Averett's Vice President for Academic Affairs. Now, at her retirement, 31 years later, Dr. Frank Campbell, President Emeritus, stated, "No one has had a greater impact on the academic life of the institution than Elizabeth Compton. She has never been just an administrator. Rather, she has served this college and its students as an educator in every sense of the word. With Dr. Compton, the students and their opportunities to learn is always her highest priority," said Dr. Campbell. And it's a very special joy for me to recognize First Lady of Averett for 17 years, Janet Campbell, who joins us in the audience and is part of Dr. Compton's circle of support today. Thank you, Janet Campbell. We all know that great teachers touch the lives of their students in such meaningful and lasting ways. Dr. Merle Puckett Herndon, from Averett's class of 74, and retired superintendent of Halifax County Public Schools, expressed her gratitude for the many gifts given to her as a young educator by Dr. Compton. She said, "Imagine the thousands of lives touched by teachers taught by Dr. Compton over the years to care about students and their individual needs. When you think in these terms, the influence she has had on others is almost limitless." I want to invite Dr. Herndon to stand because she is with us today celebrating Dr. Compton. We are so proud to present the 2017 Fugate Davis Women's Leadership Award to Dr. Elizabeth Boo Compton in recognition of all that she has meant to Averett University and honoring her deep friendship with Mary Jo Davis, for whom this award is named as representatives of Averett women leaders. All of Averett University thanks you and celebrates you today, Boo, as we present to you the Fugate Davis Women's Leadership Award. I just want to add before she comes forward that besides the token of appreciation that we have given her, her name will be added to this plaque which hangs recognizing the recipients from year to year. Thank you, Dr. Compton.
I too was told 3 minutes, but I probably will have a little more to say than that, but I won't take you too long. I am honored and humbled to be recognized with the Fugate Davis Women's Leadership Award. And receiving this award has a special meaning to me because I knew both Mary Jo Davis and Mary Fugate. And I did not work with Miss Fugate, but she interviewed me when I came for my interview. And at that time, she was academic dean. But by the time I began my work here, she had retired. But her name was always mentioned with reverence and respect by the Averett faculty and staff, by members of her church, First Baptist, as well as by citizens in Danville. I always admired her, though, for not hovering at Averett when she retired, because she had been here many, many years. But she allowed her successor, Dr. Kirby Gotze, to use his own talents and skills to lead this 4-year academic program. Now, Mary Jo Davis, who held many positions when she was here, was a longtime friend of mine and one who shared many interests. We shared many interests together. Someone once asked me how we had remained friends for so long because we both worked at Averett, and my reply was twofold. First, we never worked together in the same department. And secondly, we were never attracted to the same type of men. We would not have remained friends long, had we? Seriously, though, Mary Jo loved life, and she loved to be with people. She never met a stranger. She enjoyed challenges, and I think sometimes looked for them, but she used that creative mind and positive attitude towards working out solutions. As with Miss Fugit, Mary Jo moved on when she retired from Averett and became very involved in the community and in her church, Mount Vernon United Methodist. So this award means more to me because I know firsthand that these two ladies deserve to have their names attached to it. They were very different in their personalities and in their approach to life, but both were strong leaders and both left large legacies. The second reason that this award is so meaningful to me, is that it's given by the Alumni Board of the university that was a huge part of my life for more than 30 years and a very important and enjoyable part. When I came to teach at Averett, I had no idea I would be here for more than a few years, but Averett was a true fit for me. And I was given many opportunities to stretch my mind and improve my skills. Being one of the first two members of the education department was an experience that I would not trade for anything. When Averett moved from a 2-year college to a 4-year college, Dr. Richard McMillan was hired to head the secondary education program, and I was hired to head the elementary program department. Now, I am using the word program and department very generously because he was the secondary education department, and I was the elementary education department. Working with him was a pure pleasure. We worked long days and evenings developing curriculum and requirements, and we complemented each other in many ways, as he was the realist and I the idealist. And as he used to say, you see the world through rose-colored glasses all the time, and I would reply, you have to when you work with you. I loved him dearly. We were gradually able to hire others for the department, and all of us worked hard to build a strong program. It was such a pleasure to work in that department, especially with our students. And I was happy in the education department, loved teaching, and loved the students. I'm proud of all of them. But I was asked to become Assistant Dean of Arts and Sciences and then to assume the role of Dean. That was a challenge I never expected to have, but that role stretched my mind even further. I enjoyed getting to know the students who were not in teacher education, and I enjoyed working with the faculty in a different capacity. Although I already knew them, working with them as dean gave me a greater appreciation for their contributions to the education of our students and for their contribution to their community. Averett has always had a well-qualified and capable faculty who love to teach and who genuinely care about the growth of our students. Averett also enjoyed and continues to enjoy a very competent staff whose camaraderie with both faculty and students was always evident, and whose support the faculty nor the administration would be very successful without that support. And finally, I was asked to assume the role of Vice President for Academic Affairs. I told the President, Dr. Frank Campbell, that I would be retiring soon, but he asked me to serve there until retirement. Now, that position offered a different set of challenges, in many ways a more difficult set, but it also offered opportunities for growth. I'm grateful that Averett had asked me to work in different positions, which enabled me to recognize my areas of strength as well as to admit my areas of weaknesses. But it also gave me the opportunity to continue to learn and not be satisfied with the status quo, thus helping me become a stronger person. I consider that to be the greatest gift that I could have received from Averett. And as I've reflected on these remarks, I do believe Averett gave me more than I gave Averett. And receiving this Women's Leadership Award is just the icing on the cake, and I do thank you.
Good morning. My name is Meg Stevens, and I'm proud to serve as the Director of Athletics here at Averett University. Today is our 14th induction ceremony to the Averett University Athletics Hall of Fame. I'm so pleased today to see everyone here, including some of our current student athletes and coaches, as we induct 3 former student athletes and 1 former coach, all of whom are very deserving. Today we build on a tradition that began 19 years ago, when the first group of former student athletes and administrators were inducted into the Averett Athletics Hall of Fame. A total of 30 Cougars have been honored since 1998. Today, we will make it 34. Each has made a lasting impression on our university and will be remembered in his or her own special way. As a department, our goal is to launch leaders of the future. Today, our current student athletes can see the achievements of their predecessors and know that their experience as a student athlete is preparing them for much more than their next opponent. Those accomplishments are even more visible now that we have added multiple interactive displays around campus to showcase our Hall of Famers with their stories and photos. Our first inductee today is Eddie Gesford. Eddie, please come up. Eddie was a member of the baseball team from 2003 to 2004. Eddie was a crucial piece of Averett's 2003 USA South Conference Tournament Championship team, helping the program win its first title in history and making an NCAA regional. The 2-year outfielder was named to the 2003 American Baseball Coaches Association Rawlings Division III All-America Second Team, while batting a team-high .462 with 6 home runs, 16 doubles, and 53 runs batted in that season. He also earned the 2003 USA South All-Conference First Team and Virginia All-State First Team honors while making the USA South All-Tournament team. Gesford collected USA South First Team recognition again in 2004 and was named to the Virginia SID All-State Honorable Mention team his senior season. Over his 2 seasons after transferring to Averett, he batted .415 with 31 doubles, 4 triples, 15 home runs, 89 runs batted in, and 81 runs scored in 84 career games. Gesford graduated from Averett in 2004 with a degree in physical education. He was later named to the USA South Conference's 50th anniversary baseball team. Following his collegiate career, Gesford played professionally before getting into coaching. He is a PE teacher and coaches baseball and football at C.C. Irwin Middle School in his hometown of Salisbury, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Hall of Famer Eddie Gesford.
I can't follow that, ma'am. That was amazing. thank you, first and foremost. To do any of this, you have a lot of pieces of the puzzle that have to take place. Thank you to all of those people that are here and not here that played an intricate part in that piece. The big picture is what, as a coach, you teach for, you strive for, you talk about the big picture, and there's a lot of puzzle pieces that go in there, and without that perfect piece that goes in there, that picture never looks as bright and as beautiful as it should. For all the past student athletes, the current and the future of this school, this is an amazing school. The light bulb kind of went off here, as she mentioned. I transferred. Probably the best decision I ever made in my life. All the people here, and if I say too much, it's all right. I'm used to it. The people, the town, it's very comforting, and to come back and see it change over the years. You know, as a teacher, you teach about change, you teach about the big picture, and you never really see it until you see it with your own eyes. And when that happens, and you come down these streets, and I mentioned to Meg the other day, and you see all these signs that point you in North Campus direction or this direction, and I got lost yesterday, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I knew my way around this place, and that's the change of success with this school, and they've done a tremendous job. You see blue or navy and gold absolutely everywhere you go. And before I leave here, as a teacher, I think it's right to thank those that were here, that were an impact in my life. One that happens to be here, Barbara Kuchbar, thank you. Tommy Foster and Dr. Ferguson. Those three had an impact on my life to push me into teaching, whether it's hopefully for the rest of my life. I'd like to retire as a teacher. Not every day you get to go outside and play for fun. Again, thank you to everybody, all the Hall of Famers that are up to come. I thought this was a ladies first thing. I don't know why I had to go first. So congratulations to you ladies. Thank you to everyone here. Enjoy your evening. Go Cougars.
Our next Hall of Fame inductee is Beth Schladendorn Hicks. Please come on up. Beth is the most decorated women's cross-country runner in school history, who graduated from Averett with a degree in art with a teaching license in 1999. A change of major and a familiar face on the Averett women's cross-country coaching staff led her to transfer to Averett for her final 2 years. It worked out very well, to say the least. Hicks earned Conference Runner of the Year in back-to-back seasons, while helping lead the Cougars to the 1997 Conference Championship. She also helped Averett appear in consecutive NCAA regionals, where she finished in the top 50 individuals both times, including a 22nd place finish her senior year. The Danville native and a two-time all-conference first-team selection, who was selected to the USA South Conference 50th anniversary cross-country team in 2013. Hicks still runs when she isn't taking her kids to karate or scout meetings. Currently, she is a resident of Lexington, North Carolina. She serves as a part-time teacher at the J. Smith Young YMCA's after-school program and is the director of the Children's Department at the Bethesda United Methodist, a position she's held for the past 2 years. She also serves as den mother for her daughter's Girl Scout troop. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Hall of Famer, Beth Sheldon Hicks.
Well, I don't really know what to say. I'm not a speechwriter, and I'm not used to talking to adults. I'm usually talking to children, but I'd like to say thank you to Averett and all the people who have put this all together. This was it was really an honor, and I was really flattered when they called me and said, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, what? what? And then I said to Bailey and Landon, I said, your mama's famous. Where is my crown? But I'm really honored, and my coach, who was at Averett when I came, played a big part in me coming to Averett, because he was my coach in high school. And when I was looking to transfer, I didn't really know what my major was going to be or what I wanted to do, but I found out that my coach had come to Averett. Well, I'm coming to Averett then because I'm going to run. So, but Averett provided me the opportunity to become an art teacher, and my passions in life are art and running. And so, thank you, and I appreciate it.
Our next Hall of Fame inductee is Michelle Warner from the class of 1999. A native of Danville, Warner currently sits atop the Averett women's basketball program's all-time scoring list with 1,442 points in 98 career games. The four-year standout also holds the program records for the most points in a single game, 39, points in a season, 486, most career field goals, 568, and career blocks, 91. In addition to being the top scorer, she ranks in the top 10 in rebounding with 709. Those numbers would be even higher if she had not missed time due to her injury her junior season. Still, she earned USA South All-Conference First-Team honors in 1996-97 and 98-99. And made the 1995 USA South All-Tournament team. She was later named to the USA South 50th anniversary team. In addition to women's basketball, Warner also played 3 seasons of softball here at Averett. Warner earned a degree in art from Averett. She's currently employed by APL Logistics, a distributing company here in Danville. But she still uses her hoops skills and background to mentor youth in the community through basketball. Please welcome Hall of Famer Michelle Warner.
I'm gonna start off, I'm not a good speaker at all. But I would like to thank the Averett University Cougar Club Hall of Fame Committee for the decision to induct me into the Hall of Fame. This is such an incredible honor and privilege, and something I will always reflect with great pride. All my life, I just wanted to play basketball. I never knew that my love for the game of basketball would be a reward. I am honored that my passion and love for the game will be noted here at my alma mater. Being that said, malfunction. Being part of the Averett Cougar basketball program has helped me shape me into the person I am today. It helped me learn how to be around and understand people from all different cultures. It also learned it's okay to lose. You can always win on the court or even off the court. You will lose several times in your lifetime. Taking a loss is bad, but losing is sometimes for the good. I have taken a loss a lot in my past, and that loss has helped me, motivated me into something that I do better in life. Meaning nothing is giving up, meaning not giving up, being more self-determined, and whatever obstacle that's thrown my way, that I'll still be able to overcome them obstacles. Now, that being said, I'd like to appreciate my professors, coaches, teammates, family, friends that helped me along the way. Sleep. I would like to also thank Shelby Irvin, the assistant coach at the time, for recruiting me to join the great program. Shelby worked with me at the community park and recreation in my neighborhood that I grew up here in my hometown. Shelby was a big impact on me at such an impressive time of my life. The head coach at the time, Captain Wilcott, was my head coach. I admire her skills and knowledge of basketball, and she admired mine also. Captain had a hard time adapting to my street life, playing street ball in my community. So she couldn't do nothing about it, so she just said, forget it, just play. She believed in me and for what I was and believed me for what I am. Now I'd like to recognize my teammates. I'm not here because I was that good. I was here because my teammates made me that good. So to you guys, I want to say thank you for the ones that's here. Last but not least, I would like to thank my mom, my #1 fan. I would not be here. I would not be where I am today without the unconditional love, support, and encouragement from my moms. Thank you, Mom. Once again, I would like to say thank you, Averett University.
Our final Hall of Fame inductee is Courtney Carrington Wells. Courtney is a former volleyball standout from the class of 2004, and she returned to get her MBA while serving as an assistant coach for the volleyball program. Wells was a key member of the Averett women's volleyball team from 2000 to 2003. The 2003 USA South Conference Player of the Year and State Player of the Year, played multiple positions during her 4 seasons with the Cougars. She earned second-team all-conference honors as a sophomore in 2001, then was named to the first team in 2002 and 2003. She earned the Virginia SID All-State First-Team honors in 2003 and second-team accolades in 2002. Wells finished her career with 991 kills, an average of 2.37 per set, 1,186 digs, an average of 2.84 per set, and 769 assists with 185 service aces in over 417 career sets. Twice she helped Averett win the USA South Conference and earn a trip to the NCAA tournament appearances, including the 2000 team that notched the program's first NCAA postseason win. Additionally, Wells was named to the USA South All-Tournament team as a senior. She was rewarded for her successes additionally as a recipient of Averett's Female Student Athlete of the Year during the 2003-2004 school year. She later earned a spot on the USA South's 50th anniversary team. After completing her degree in English and history, she returned to coach the Cougars while earning her master's degree. The mother of 3 lives in Yadkin County, North Carolina, where she helps run the family poultry farm and manages her grandfather's cattle. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Courtney Carrington Wells.
So I was not informed I would have to do this until late last night by Coach Miller. He would not come up here and do this for me. I hear the statistics but for me, volleyball and playing volleyball and coming to Averett University, the lessons that I learned are much more valuable than all those numbers. They're nice to hear. But the challenges that I faced in my day-to-day life, volleyball has helped me learn how to deal with those things. And that's what I would want to say to the students here. The lessons and the memories are amazing. I have to thank most of the important people in my life are sitting right back there, all of them. My friend Beth talked me into coming up here and she put it the way that I would do it, as let my kids see me do something good. And, have my husband and my mom and my grandpa, my other mom and dad. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Averett. Thank you. That's all I got.
Let's hear it one more time for our 2017 members of the Averett Athletics Hall of Fame. On behalf of Averett student athletes, coaches, administrators, alumni, and Cougar fans throughout the world, thanks for joining us to celebrate a momentous occasion. Being inducted into a Hall of Fame is an incredible thing. We'd like to thank our generous donors and support from the Cougar Club that helps make this athletics department work and helps make our student-athlete experience better. Have a great homecoming weekend, and let's go get some wins in all of today's games. Thanks.
This award that we'll be presenting now is named in honor of Mary Jo Davis, a 1955 graduate of Averett. Mary Jo came back to Averett in 1965, and for the next 34 years, she served as a true Averett icon. The award is presented to an individual who has given long-term and continuous support to Averett and the community in the same manner that Mary Jo did. It is such an honor for me to introduce today the recipient for this year, Eric Miller. Come on down. One of his favorite phrases is you lead from the front, but then he likes to stand in the background. Even though I am Eric's senior by too many years to mention, he has been my mentor and my friend. Eric served 2 separate terms on the Alumni Board, serving as president his last term. Eric is humble, works tirelessly, and is a true leader. He has worked to diversify the board to be inclusive and representative, promote the university, and identify new leaders, which he is masterful at. He is unselfish in giving his time and expertise, and is always the first to offer to take a student or recent graduate under his wing. Under his leadership, he worked to define the board's focus and involvement and strategically align it with the university's goals. Following in the legacy of Mary Jo Davis, Eric is a true champion and advocate of Averett, and especially the distance learning program. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Eric Miller.
Thank you all very much. I want to thank Nancy, thank you very much. Dr. Franks, Dan, you're fired. Can't fire you, Nancy, I have too much respect. A special thanks to my wife, Peg, of 26 years. She stood by me through going to school, through serving here on the board, and for countless meetings that have gone on since the early 2000s, 2002, 2004, somewhere over a decade. It's been a pleasure. She's my wife, my companion, and my best friend, and I thank you. The story begins back in 1994. I was working 2 jobs. I was working 7 days a week, and it was getting old, and I needed a means to an end. And there were only 2 colleges that really provided that kind of education where a working adult could go out and look for and seek education and earn a bachelor's degree. Averett was one of them. And it was a no-brainer on my part. But again, it was a means to an end. And I went ahead and attended an information session in 1994, signed up for classes, began taking courses. And in that following 2 years, I learned more than I learned in the previous 28. As a working adult going to school, it took an extra 2 years to fulfill it. But at age 30, in 1996, I walked across the stage down here at the City Auditorium. I'd never set foot on the campus, never been to Danville. But those years changed my life. They were some of the happiest years of my life, some of the most influential years of my life. That also takes back to a little bit further. I'll take you back to the early 90s, late 80s. Dr. Frank Campbell was a visionary, absolutely visionary leader at the school, and he established what was called the ACE program. It's now called the GPS program. If it was not for Dr. Campbell, I would not be here today to have this privilege of speaking with you. It absolutely changed my life, and it further inspired me to want to serve and give back to this great community that we have here at Averett. In 1996, I walked And it was indeed a means to an end, but it was an end by no means. And in that, I mean that I found the inspiration through Dr. Campbell's vision to go on and serve with the Alumni Board for as long as I have, and I continue to reach back to that and use his vision of the future. And as Dan will attest, that whenever we have a phone call, that he knows he needs to have a ream of paper and several boxes of pens ready, because we're going to be taking lots of notes. So we took a very strategic approach to what we were doing with the Averett Alumni Board. And we've made every effort to match what we do with the Board of Trustees, and we've grown closer so that we can develop pipelines of talent and strategically identify leadership for future generations. And we've done that, and we do that as a team. One more thing about Dr. Campbell is his vision of adult learning and his vision of education has drastically altered the landscape of learning in this country. And he doesn't get the credit for it that he deserves, because his vision is now present on billboards, television ads, and radio ads. You can't go any place in this country and not hear an advertisement, see an advertisement for a school that has a distance learning program. And I attribute that directly to Dr. Campbell. I had the privilege over at Dr. Franks' house a few years ago to share that story with Dr. Campbell. And he was moved by it. And he tried to move away from me very quickly. I don't blame him. But he, in all honesty, he thanked me for that, and I kept that. And I really appreciate that opportunity to share that with him. I've enjoyed serving Averett. I continue to serve Averett. I'm taking a bit of a hiatus right now. But I will always remember what Dr. Campbell created gave me the opportunity to achieve what I've done. And it's given me the opportunity to serve Averett for many years after. And I am truly honored for that. So for me, again, Averett was a means to an end, but it was an end by no means. And I dedicate this today to Dr. Frank Campbell and in his memory. I thank you very much for this privilege.
I'm still fired.
I would like to ask all the members of the class of 1992 who are present today to please join me on the stage. Come on down, everybody. There's a lot of you, so you'll have to squinch in. The class of 1992 is celebrating their 25th reunion, and I'm sure you guys wonder how so many years have flown by so quickly. Hopefully some of the list I'm going to read will help jog your memory about the years that you spent at Averett, and I'm sure that there are others that shouldn't be read at a function like this today.
Make a long row. There you go. Come on over here.
Yeah.
Make a long row and they'll...
Squinch in together.
There you go. Oh, how you doing?
Some of the things Dan suggested I mentioned today are faculty and student softball games, sledding trays, the Busy Bee, holes and bottom bishop, quiet hours and closed hours, themed parties and t-shirts, and a list of ever-changing Greek names, which I'm not going to read today. Professors, also remembering professors who are no longer with us, such as Dr. Trachis, Dr. Bolton, Dr. Fisher, and Maud Gatewood. Sweet 16 basketball, championship volleyball, and last but not least, the BB gun. Today you are being presented by Dr. Franks a token to honor your 25th reunion. Please wear this pin to signify your place in Averett history.
Everybody stand still real quick for a quick picture, then we'll get a good. Wait, Dr. Frank's in the middle. It's just hard to get this crowd back together again. Supergirl photos? Yeah, absolutely. It's very. Everybody look at Travis in the very back of the room, where the Flash was. Very good. Good to you. 3 to go.
Okay. Oh, congratulations to our award recipients, our Hall of Fame inductees, our 25th reunion group, our 60th reunion group, and to everyone with whom we celebrate. What a great day this is. Now, I have some important thank yous that I want to extend before we close. I especially want to thank our Alumni Board for your service and all the many ways that you support Averett. We are so grateful. Thank you, thank you. Now, there's another special group I want to thank. Each award recipient today has what is called by the Alumni Board a shepherd, someone who makes sure that everything goes well for them this weekend, and they've been available to answer questions for them. So thank you to each of our shepherds. And finally, I want you to join with me in thanking Dan Hayes, Buddy Raleigh, VP for Advancement, who's standing in the back, Sherry McDowell, and Lynette Larson, as well as the entire advancement team. They work so hard for everything that we will celebrate and enjoy this weekend. So thank you to all the advancement team. You know, I'm often asked to describe Averett, and I sum it up in 2 simple words. And those words are life-changing. I learned this from our alumni literally 10 years ago when Joe and I began. And I hear it in your stories today. And I see it firsthand from our students literally each and every day. Your alma mater continues to be very blessed. For those of you that have not been on campus in a while, Averett's paw print is across this community, across the state, and beyond is big. There's a lot of exciting things that are happening, and we want you to be able to experience as much of this as you can while you're here. I want you to be able to feel the pride that we feel each and every day. Together with our trustees, our faculty, our staff, our students, our alumni, our friends, and foundations, we have made remarkable progress. This fall, we welcomed the largest entering class on record, and the impact of our students and our alumni can be felt, experienced, observed throughout this entire surrounding community. Now, we're continuing to raise funds. We're always raising funds for the next big project, but we're now focused on the renovation of all of our residence halls, starting with our campaign for Maine, because we're ready to give this beautiful, stately, historic Maine Hall a facelift. We're excited to be able to focus on upgrading each of our residence halls to meet the needs of our students. But you know, best of all, perhaps, is that along with all of the improvements that we work to make each day, it's the heart, it's the core, the essence of Averett that remains the same. And you know what that is. Your alma mater is about people. It's about relationships and how through these relationships, lives are changed. And also important, the world out there is becoming increasingly aware of your alma mater and the accomplishments of our university, meaning your accomplishments. You know, they say it ain't bragging. If it's so, Dr. Compton, I'm going to say ain't in this occasion, just this once. We were pleased this year when U.S. News and World Report ranked Averett as the number 17 best regional liberal arts college in the South, which is our highest ranking ever. We were also the 9th ranking Southern Regional College for best value. And also, as I think so many of you know, Averett has a special and a deep commitment to our military servicemen and women, and we're ranked this year 7th best regional college in the South for veterans, and the only college to be recognized for that in Virginia. I hope you are proud of your alma mater. Now let me say, for those of you that have not been to a football game in the last few years, you are in for a huge treat. Now even though the game starts at 6, I would encourage you to get there really early. I would encourage you to spend your afternoon. In fact, at 1 o'clock, our women's soccer team will take the field, and we invite you to join us to celebrate homecoming beginning there. It's only fitting that we would close this special occasion by singing Averett's alma mater, those 58 precious words that speak to our hearts, our memories, and our souls forevermore. Before I call upon Matt Doss from the class of 2007, who's going to lead us in singing the alma mater, I just want to remind our award recipients and Hall of Fame inductees, after we finish, to please join us on stage so that we can capture some more photos. Thank you, Matt. I'll invite you to come forward. And again, congratulations to each of our honorees. Thank you all. I'd love to. We are so pleased. We're blessed to have with us Linda Kelly from California, who I was blessed to meet a few years ago, literally at an alumni event in California. Linda, please stand so that we can recognize you. There she is. There's Linda. And then we're so fortunate to also have with us Carolyn Hankley from Tennessee. Thank you, Carolyn. You know, that's a big deal coming from these far distances from the class of 1957, and they certainly worked with some of their classmates to try to get them to join, but sometimes there are things that get in the way, and we are just so thankful to have both of you with us. Thank you, and congratulations, ladies.
I invite you to sing along. If you don't remember the words like I didn't, just turn your program over and they're right there. Is there any music or anything? Is there any music or anything? There wasn't going to be. Oh, nice. It's a cappella. All right, excellent, nice. Hail to thee, our alma mater, proudly now we sing. Faithful to thy name forever, let our praises ring. Oh, dear Averett, we are thankful as we sing to thee. For honor, friendship, and real wisdom, thou dost hold the key. Averett University, memories dear we'll hold. We'll remember now and ever our dear blue and gold. Thank you.
Okay. Picture time. Yep. Picture. Thank you, sir.